A famous billionaire challenged his mechanic to fix his impossible engine. But when the mechanic's daughter heard about it, she dared her dad to take the challenge. And what she revealed next shocked everyone. This is the story of a poor mechanic who was famous for fixing any car that came to him, no matter how bad the damage was. He could fix anything with his bare hands. That was until he got an unexpected customer one day. The man introduced himself as the boss and said that he wanted Harold to fix his car. But when Harold inspected the engine, he knew that it was impossible to repair. It was full of nuts and bolts that were rusted and stuck together in such a way that if he tried to disassemble it, he would end up breaking the whole thing. Not to mention the engine was also extremely old. The boss offered Harold $1 million if he could fix the engine, but Harold refused because he knew he couldn't do it. The boss insisted, though, saying that it wasn't a big deal. "I just need this engine fixed before the weekend. Can't go to my friend's party without it," he said. But Harold was adamant that it was no use. "You can pay me $2 million, but I still can't fix it," he said. The boss looked disappointed, so Harold suggested that maybe his son Cliff could help him out, but the boss replied, "No, I want you to fix it." Harold didn't know what to do, so he asked for more time to think about it. Meanwhile, he went home and told his son about the challenge. "Dad, you don't have to do it if you don't want to," Cliff said. "It's just an engine. I can fix it," Harold replied. Cliff shook his head. "I bet you can't even get it apart," he said. "Well, I can too," Harold replied. He called the boss and said, "Okay, I've decided that I'll do it." The boss was overjoyed and immediately transferred the money into Harold's account. The next morning, Harold arrived at the boss's house with his tools. "I'm here to fix your engine," he said. The boss was surprised. "But I thought you said that it's impossible," he replied. "I did," Harold said, "but I found someone who can." Before the boss could ask any questions, Harold brought Cliff into the garage. "Son, this is the boss. He wants you to fix his engine," Harold said. Cliff inspected the engine and agreed. "It's not that hard. I think I can fix it," he said. The boss was skeptical, but he let Cliff get on with the job. After a few hours, Cliff had managed to remove the cylinder head. "See, it's easy," he said. The boss was stunned. He had been wrong. This kid was really good at fixing cars. He watched as Cliff continued to work on the engine. The young man was fast and efficient, and soon he had the engine completely disassembled. "Wow, you're really good at this," the boss said. "Thanks," Cliff replied. Next, he started to put the engine back together. He replaced the damaged parts and made sure that everything was working properly. "There we go," he said, wiping his hands on a rag. "All done." The boss couldn't believe it. "You actually did it," he said. "Of course I did," Cliff replied. "I told you I could fix it." The boss was stunned. He had been so wrong about this kid. He paid Harold the $1 million and then turned to Cliff. "You know, I wasn't planning on paying you, but you deserve it," he said. "Really?" Cliff asked. "Of course," the boss replied. "Here you go." He thanked the boss and then ran to his dad. "Dad, look what I won," he said. Harold was stunned. He couldn't believe that his son had just won $500,000. "Good job, son," he said. Cliff beamed. He was so proud of himself. The next day, Harold and Cliff were eating breakfast when they saw the news on TV. The rich man who had dared them to fix his engine was being arrested for fraud. Apparently, he had been scamming people for years by pretending to be a billionaire when he was actually broke. Harold and Cliff couldn't believe it. They had almost been scammed too. But luckily, Cliff's skills had saved the day. From that day on, Harold and Cliff were known as the best mechanics in town. They had a long list of customers, and they never had to worry about money again. And as for the rich man, he spent the rest of his life in jail. Many years later, after Harold retired from his job, Cliff took over the family business. His shop was the most popular one in the city, and he had a reputation for being able to fix any engine, no matter how difficult it was. One day, a classic car pulled up outside the shop. It was the same model that Cliff had fixed for the rich man all those years ago. Out stepped a beautiful woman. "Can you fix this car?" she asked. Cliff smiled. "Of course I can," he replied. As he took the car in for a look, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. He knew that he had inherited his father's gift for fixing engines, and he was grateful for the day that his dad had dared him to fix the rich man's engine. If he hadn't taken that challenge, he might never have realized how good he was at what he did. Later that day, the woman returned to pick up her car. "Thank you so much for fixing it," she said to Cliff. "No problem," he replied. "It was my pleasure." As she drove away, Cliff couldn't help but smile. He loved his job, and he knew that his dad would have been proud of him. Many years had passed since the incident with the rich man, but it was still talked about in the town. People would often come up to Cliff and tell him about the time his dad had embarrassed the billionaire. Cliff always laughed and shook his head. He knew that his dad was a legend in the town. He was proud to be his son. One day, Cliff was working on a car when a familiar face walked into his shop. It was the boss's daughter. "Can you help me fix my car?" she asked. Cliff smiled. "Of course I can," he replied. But he knew that she was really there to see him. She had heard so much about the mechanic who had dared her father to fix his engine, and she wanted to meet him. As Cliff worked on her car, they talked about everything and nothing. She told him about her life, and he told her about his passion for fixing cars. "Do you ever miss working on cars?" she asked. "All the time," he replied. "I gave up my dream to go to college and get a real job, but I still love working on cars." The girl smiled. "Well, maybe one day you'll get the chance to go back to school and study engineering." "You seem like you'd be really good at it," she said. Cliff blushed. He'd never thought of going back to school before, but now he couldn't stop thinking about it. After he finished fixing her car, the girl paid him and left. Cliff watched her go and couldn't help but smile. He had a feeling that this was just the beginning of something great. From that day on, Cliff and the girl started dating. They went to school together, and he eventually graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering. They got married after graduation and started their own business together. Cliff finally got the chance to pursue his dream, and he had the girl to thank for it. Meanwhile, the boss's company went bankrupt, and he lost everything. He tried to start a new business, but he just wasn't cut out for it. He missed the days when he used to work for his father, and he wished he had listened to him when he had the chance. He spent the rest of his life working odd jobs, and he never became wealthy again. As for the boss's daughter, she became a successful engineer, and she traveled all over the world. She never forgot the lessons that her father had taught her, though, and she always remembered the mechanic who had dared her father to fix his engine. She knew that if he hadn't taken that challenge, she might never have been born. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new stories.